I've never been unfaithful outside, Made in Chelsea. I don't care what the reputation looks like. I was unfaithful on that television show because it's a show about that. I'm not saying it was acceptable behavior, but the show wouldn't work without relationships failing. In real life it's completely different. While all the other kids were out playing ball and stuff, I used to stay in my room and imagine that there was a camera in the wall. And I used to really believe that I was putting on a television show and that it was going out to somewhere in the world. I've appeared on a weekly syndicated television show since 1980. If your ethics in the military, in your training, is going to be countermanded by a 1-hour weekly television show, we've got a really big problem. Utterance works because it has real emotions and situations. Of course, some drama is essential in a television show, but people connect to the characters. You don't go out and change your gender for a television show, okay? It ain't happening. I don't care who you are. I probably would be continuing to do voiceovers, continuing to do cartoon shows, and at the same time I'd probably be on a sitcom or a dramatic television show. I have to be careful of what TV shows I choose, particularly ones that have commercials in them, because it's going to be a different kind of television show. As slavery died for the greater good of America, and the movement for equality sputtered to life, the white woman was on the cover of every American magazine. She was the dazzling jewel on every movie screen, the glory of every commercial and television show. For me, when working on a film or play or television show, everything for me starts with the screenplay and I am devoted to that, and that is what I work from. Any research I do or any preparation I do on my own is all ultimately in service of that. Hill Street Blues might have been the first television show that had a memory. One episode after another was part of a cumulative experience shared by the audience. When you're shooting a network television show, it inevitably starts airing a few episodes in, and depending on the ratings and the response from the public, you find yourself tweaking your performance or the scripts go in a different direction. I'm just kind of taking a break now and enjoying the freedom of making my own choices. When you're on a television show for 6 years, they run your schedule. I literally get up and get to do the one thing I dreamed about doing every day, and that is being a part of a television show and a radio show that is based in Hollywood. So there was a constant flow and a thin line there between reality and television, and yes, much of what I was experiencing in my real life was also what was going on in the television show, to the extent that I had to take writers' advice and from the counselors around. To do a television show, one can be sort of spoiled. You get to have your own trailer, your own space, that sort of thing. I was interviewed for a Grammy television show, and they asked me about Nashville, and I talked for 3 minutes, and when I finished, I was teared up. The whole room was crying. Nashville has given me a home, where I never had a home before. I didn't have parents who were, racing to get a reality television show, or looking to benefit in some way from their daughter's fame. It never occurred to me that I'd be on a television show or in feature films, but when those came into play, my dreams changed along the way. 2 years ago I hadn't even thought of The Woman in White, and I was doing a television show and I said I hadn't found a story, and the next day somebody rang me and said, "Have you ever thought of The Woman in White?" The Mary Tyler Moore Show was the best television, the best cast, the best written television show ever. There's so many things that can go wrong in the execution of a project like a television show or a movie, so many little elements, any number of things. All the way to marketing, like they could market it poorly and nobody finds it and down it goes. I have a new television show in the works, and that is all I can say right now. I work from a deep sense of insecurity. I have the belief, and I can't shake it, that there are endless reasons to turn the channel. There are hundreds of channels and entirely other things to do besides TV. And if you make a bad television show, there's no reason for the audience to come back the following week. Anytime a movie or television show retreats into certain American pasts, I'm both annoyed and relieved. With the marketing pressures driving the book world today, it's much easier to get the author of a memoir on a television show than a serious novelist. I feel that, at this point in my career, I don't want to do another television show. I don't want to do a film. I have no regrets about not having children. I still wait for the pang of guilt, but I have none. I tune into the television show, Nanny 911, occasionally, which reminds me how much patience and love it take to be a good parent. Being on a television show and having so many fans is something that I've never experienced before, and it's really neat when they come up to you and are like, "That storyline is amazing and really spoke to me in my life," and it's really cool. I really enjoy it. Given a chance, I would love to host a television show as I have good communication skills and am fluent in Hindi, English and Urdu. I had written the script for Juno and apparently Steven Spielberg had read it. I can't just call him Steven, that's weird. Mr. Spielberg had read it and he liked it. He asked me if I would write this television show for him and I said, yeah. The movie, if I recall, didn't have to do with the television show because there were concerns from everyone that they didn't want it to be like the TV show. Every television show you go on is a choice. Jeff Smith was the Julia Child of my generation. When his television show, The Frugal Gourmet, made its debut on PBS in the 1980s, it conveyed such genuine enthusiasm for cooking that I was moved for the first time to slap down cold cash for a collection of recipes. Around 5th and 6th grade I thought Dean Martin was the coolest guy in the world. He was a great singer, had his own television show and acted in movies. Shooting a television show can be very difficult and at times can really wear on you. If you keep reminding yourself that it is a job and you show up together as a team and as a whole, you can prevail. Beverly Hills Cop opened up a whole world. I got the television show and movies, and I would go sign autographs for 1 hour and get paid $25,000. The first dumb idea was to do it at all, to take Fargo, this beloved classic, and turn it into a television show. The second dumb idea, when you do it and it works, was to throw everything out and start again. I'd say without a doubt I've had the most sex scenes in any television show, ever. Last season I did 8 sex scenes in one day. I haven't topped that yet. We were on the island of Hawaii. I think I was there 3 months. It was fantastic. It is not much different than films. It depends on the television show, but much of television today is as good or better than most films. I'm happy doing stand-up, but I'll probably do a television show eventually. If not, I'll delve into this internet world and decide best how to harness it. What I like best about it is the independent movie style and the ability to just be completely reckless within that world. I like that a lot. I just have to acquaint myself with technology. Being on a successful television show is a good thing. It's steady work. It's a chance to work with a group of people in an intimate way, where you develop a sort of shorthand with each other, and a trust. There was never a book, a magazine, a movie, a television show that spoke to my experience as a bicultural teen. I could find a million articles on finding the perfect prom dress or getting the guy of your dreams, but how about 10 surefire steps to being the perfect Korean daughter and not be a freak at your high school? Growing up where I did, the thought of working on a television show or in a movie, that existed on a parallel plane, you know? They both go together. You can't be in front of the camera hosting a fitness television show in front of 75 million households and not have trained 6 days per week year-round, in a bikini no less. There have been 2 Geraldo Riveras through his long career. One of them was a reporter who has done some remarkable work. The other was a television show host who did what it took to get an audience. Any actor will tell you there's more of a schedule to doing a television show. That's why you'll notice a lot of big movie actors are doing television, and they'll tell you, it's because of the schedule. Year 2 is a critical year for any television show. My father was invited to play on a television show when I was 17 or 18 that was an early equivalent of educational television, a Sunday afternoon kind of variety art show. Every generation has their favorite Spider-Man television show. For a lot of us, it's the one that has the song, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.